Hello, you again. Welcome to the Medicine Show. I've been seeing some recent articles regarding the use of a new algorithm to determine whether or not people are predisposed to criminality, or whether they are potentially a terrorist threat. And all of our fears are allayed because, it's scientific, they're going to use an algorithm. However, we don't really get to see exactly what steps we get to tell, or what steps they take in determining whether or not people are predisposed to criminality or whether or not they are a terrorist. So I came up with one so you can understand, how these terrorist, prediction models and criminal prediction models actually work. Okay, so I looked up the word algorithm using the website dictionary.com, and they say that algorithm is a noun, and it's a set of rules for solving a problem in a finite number of steps, as for finding the greatest common divisor. So we think that, well, just because we're not doing anything wrong or we're not hurting anybody, that we should be just fine. Except we don't get to know what the steps are. So typically I created my own just to give you an example of what it's like to take a peek in the black box that they use to determine whether or not you could be a potential terrorist or a potential criminal threat. So take a good look, and these are the types of things that they apply. And if you don't believe me, you can go to the Department of Homeland Security and go through their particular stipulations as to who and who is not a potential terrorist. And these are the kind of scientific computer processes that they will run you through. So take a good look, and make sure it sinks in real good. Okay. Now, their particular algorithm is probably more complicated, but I imagine one of the questions might be, does somebody in government, in any of the thousands of agencies out there, really don't like you? Do you say anything that's weird or could be characterized as free thinking? Yeah, or counterculture. I don't know if there's anything in the United States that I've witnessed that could be considered counterculture, because I don't think we've yet to actually define what our culture actually is. And as far as those people with tendencies towards being anti-government, I'm not anti-government, nor are a whole lot of people. I'm just waiting to see a government actually form, because by its very nature, what people call the federal government of the United States, quite frankly, doesn't qualify as a government in the first place. So I don't see how anybody could really be, against that. I certainly am not, and I'm looking forward. If there are these people that are predisposed to actually create a government, I welcome that, and I think that would be, for some people who need a government. I think that's worthwhile. I think it create a lot of security, and it may establish justice and peace back on this planet, and I think a lot more people would be a lot happier. So and the next time, you hear, complicated words that you don't understand, like algorithm or, systemic process, or, all of this stuff they throw at us to make us look like, these guys aren't just two-bit criminals, stealing stuff from you and lying to you and hurting you, hey, they throw out a big word and hey, everything's okay, right? It's just them. They, they're there to protect you. So, I just, want to help you out, understand a little bit, more about, the way you give your power away, so that you can stop doing that. So, hope that this helps you, and we'll see you soon.
As always, thank you for being me.